What's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 7 of Get With The Program, Lucky Number. We actually got a few announcements today. I was actually going to be the last time we're recording in this studio. So we're going to be upgrading. We're moving to a better spot. We'll have a little more space that we can work with.
You heard that?
Shout out to 633.
What the fuck? 633?
My apartment number.
That's the apartment.
Oh, so he's the only one that pays attention.
Whatever, nigga. I was here, wasn't I?
I had no idea.
I showed up.
Late.
I'm here, ain't I?
Every time.
I care. But yes, we're finally moving out the trap, guys. We're moving on up. We're also finally a corporation, guys. Congratulations. Round of applause. We have sold out. We finally sold out. We've been bought out by McDonald's. Just kidding. Do we have to let that out? No.
We'll have like some Disney and McDonald's ads soon enough. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Disney fight everything. And Disney, like, same way Disney's trying to ruin Star Wars.
We got the Sterling Burger and the Dre Burger coming up, so y'all be ready for that.
Disgusting.
Just like us.
I don't know about the Dre burger. Sounds kind of good. I'm not gonna lie, it has a ring to it.
The Dre burger.
Dre burger.
I eat it. No.
That's not homo. It's a burger.
No, I know the internet. Trust me, it was necessary to say it. I know the internet.
He's thinking ahead of the game.
I'm on that. Y'all thought you could get me, right? Y'all thought.
I feel like the younger audience is like, no homo. That's so retro.
That's
like,
so retro.
Does anyone say no homo anymore? I don't really hear no homo.
Niggas say no homo all the
They
time.
would not say retro.
I don't hear no homo.
Retro?
I don't
Getting
know.
old.
I don't know the mind of how a Gen Z works.
I'm not gonna lie. Andres has been having a middle-age crisis since we left the parking lot to go get those cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Bro, you know why? Because he told me a story about, I forgot who the fuck it was. And he was like, I told him a story. And he's like, oh, how old is this person? And I'm like, oh, early 20s. I'm like, wow, I'm at a point that I say early 20s and that's not my age group.
Bro, this nigga,
holy shit.
This nigga in the burger joint, this nigga goes to go get the burgers.
That's
and
right.
homeboy passes him the cheeseburger, says, never work here.
No, literally.
Like that.
I get to have it and I go to the fucking, to the pickup window. And he's like, oh, why are you here? And I'm like, oh, I'm picking up an order for Andres. And he's like, all right, cool. And then I'm on my phone and he's like, never work here. I'm like, excuse me? And he's like, it's terrible.
With wide-ass eyes, too.
Yeah, and it's terrible. I'm hearing, I was the accountant of my dad's business. And then he just turns around and starts stacking shit. And I'm like, what the fuck's happening right now?
This nigga said, I thought he was fucking with me when he
this
said
only happens to you.
Weird.
Bro, evidently. And what makes it funny is I'm like, at school, and he's like, he's like, have you ever worked in food? I'm like, I have. And he's like, don't ever go back. I'm like, okay.
Listen, I used to be successful.
No, he basically was like, look, I used to be happy, all right? And now he's just fucking miserable.
That was a whole cry for help. And you left him back here.
Bro.
I left him because it's bullshit. You know how I know? Because immediately I ignored him. I'm on my phone, and then a girl comes up to me. She's like, I'm here to pick up an order for Ashley, and he's like, don't ever work here.
That's what tripped me out. What tripped me out really is not that emotional outburst. It's that it wasn't an emotional outburst. That seems to be his automatic response to people that approach the counter.
Do you have ketchup? Don't ever work here.
Yeah. Like, why is that his go-to?
He's like Hodor, but he only knows that statement.
What the fuck? Where's his manager? What if he is the manager?
Also hating his
Yeah,
job.
Jesus Christ. Like, that was a fucking interesting, because I used to work in the food industry, so I know that.
That's
shit.
probably their motto, though. You just don't know it.
Don't ever
Welcome
work
to the
here.
habit. Don't ever work here.
How can I help you? Bro,
Yo, on the real though, actually, speaking of that, the only way I'd ever get into food again is if I worked in that. There's one restaurant in the country, I think it's in Chicago, where like the waiters and waitresses are like supposed to be rude to the fucking guests. Like you can tell them off and shit, and it's like their whole gimmick. Mm-hmm. That's the only way to go back into food.
You know why fast food? Because that guy works in a fast food restaurant. They don't serve alcohol there. And that's the problem. If you're working in the fast food industry and there's no alcohol and no profuse use of illicit narcotics, you can't work there.
True.
That's exactly what makes the life.
Are you trying
plausible.
to say the food industry runs on fucking like, liquor and cocaine?
Wasn't that a topic one day?
It was supposed to be. I was trying to smoothly transition you, but yes, that was a topic one.
That was a topic. Well, you can't smoothly transition to a topic. I don't remember.
Adapt.
What the fuck?
Aren't you good at this?
Fuck you, nigga. Anyway.
You're just a producer.
We're working live, and then he's a producer. Employee.
Oh, I see how
Anyway.
it is. I start the whole thing and this is what happens.
One day Chris is just gonna lose it. You nothing but a bitch ass producer anyway, and just fucking storm out.
And on that note, Kanye West.
Bitch ass producer.
Divas.
Divas.
Okay, nice.
Divas.
Yeah, right? Okay, there we go.
You see yourself in
I'm
my
like
mind.
bitch ass. I see producer.
But so Kanye West and his new album was supposed to drop like what, a couple days ago?
Literally this past weekend.
Boy, I stayed up. It was supposed to drop at midnight. That shit never fucking dropped. I should have known better.
And you use what, Apple Music?
Apple Music.
Yeah, no, because usually when it takes a minute for it to get to Spotify. So I'm like, yo, Jay, it's not on Spotify. He's like, yeah, it's gonna take at least another week. So I'm like, oh, it's probably on Apple, and it's
that
like
shit drops on the
it's
dot
still
now.
not even out. So I'm like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the hell's going on?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. The album interests me much less than why the fuck he was wearing pantyhose on his fucking face at this stadium. That like none of y'all bothered by that? Like I know it's Kanye and we're used to crazy shit, but he had pantyhose on his head.
Do you think it was?
Report said it was a face mask?
He looked like a really shitty thief in a romantic comedy movie.
You know,
Like it was terrible.
because Kanye fancies himself the artist of the generation, so everything he does, at least in his mind, has symbolism. I have been running my mind in fucking circles trying to find the symbolism of these pantyhose. Best I can think is they belong to Kim.
They wouldn't fit.
They would.
They'd be falling off his head.
He'd be suffocating.
He shrunk them in the
Not
wash.
even
No, that
one
thing would be like
thigh
a
would
bag.
keep there. It would just slump over.
It's true. That girl got the meats. I've been waiting
Stop
to use
saying
it on
that.
an episode.
Silicone.
Yes, she got the meats like Arby's. I said it. Anyway,
You have this
Arby's sponsor me.
infatuation with Arby's.
Sponsor me.
Don't.
Anyway, I'm the one guy that
Are you saying that because they're both
Hold up.
artificially produced?
you leave Kim alone.
Artificially produced meats.
Arby's, I love your meats. All right, Kim, you too. Actually,
No, let me make clear. I'm not saying no to Kim. I'm just saying it is artificial.
yeah.
But I'm not saying no. I don't discriminate.
But I am saying you go to Arby's because you want to.
You want to?
Okay,
It's not-
I'm not lost. Yeah, I pull up there on purpose.
You go to the one right on US one. It's like, oh
You go
yeah,
to
that's
regular
where
one, yes.
that's where I want to go today.
Yes.
What kind of sad individual eats Arby's? That's so depressing. You want a hug?
And then you talk shit about Little Caesars.
Okay, no.
That's a fair point.
Little Caesars is
That's a fair
ghetto.
point.
Arby's has good French fries. Arby's has fantastic shakes.
Arby's is mediocre
Little-
fries.
Little
Little Caesars
Caesars
steak
has
crust for
nothing.
$7, easy to pick up, quick as fuck. Man, I don't know.
Audience, so we have a legitimate pizza fucking addict on this show, right?
No, that's my
And
brother.
this nigga goes to Little Caesars, right? Which is famous because they charge $3 for their fucking cardboard ass pizza with
Listen,
synthetic
though.
synthetic
First
tomato
off-
paste garbage.
First off,
Hater.
bad pizza is still good pizza.
Exactly.
Nobody can make an argument
Except
for,
Ray's pizza.
Okay, yeah, okay. You know what? I'm done with this conversation.
You know,
Back to Kanye.
we're
Back to
derail-
Kanye.
yeah, Kanye West. I'm sorry. All right.
Kanye, pantyhose.
Terrible.
So anyway, bro, Kanye West.
Pantyhose to pizza.
Pantyhose to pizza. That feels like that's connected somehow. But last thing I said is that it's probably Kim's, but I cannot find the symbolism. The symbolism behind why he's wearing the pantyhose. Right? Now maybe it's like supposed to symbolize the translucence of his personality.
I'm still
as an
stuck on
artist.
your bullshit of
Shut-
like
hey,
Pantyhose
hey,
pizza. There's something there.
You, see, you keep trying to derail me.
Stop.
You keep trying to derail. I will not be derailed. I refuse.
Too late.
Okay. Maybe it's supposed to symbolize the
You have to know where you're going to
translucency.
be derailed.
Fuck you. The translucency of his personality. Are you gonna help? Of his personality.
I could if you started giving sound.
Of his
hints.
personality.
His personality.
His personality.
The translucent.
Why does he want? Why does he want the panties on his head?
You were trying to
Theorize.
say. You were trying to say it's supposed to be translucent of his person. What the fuck? Why you won't let me speak? You can't wave
I'm
me
the
off.
only
If
one
I
on this
want-
show working. Everyone else is playing. I'm sick.
I had such an urge to throw this water in your face. I'm not even kidding.
Remember when we were talking about divas earlier?
Fuck
Now
you,
she's himself
Jill,
with Kanye.
you're like, answer the question. Okay, answer, but answer. You can't even answer.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You
You
still haven't
interrupting,
answered, though.
bitch.
Now you're just ranting. I'm just saying.
What were you just saying?
I was fucking saying Kanye West and his pantyhose. What is the symbolism behind his wearing of the pantyhose in the middle of Atlanta Falcons Stadium? Maybe he's saying that anyone who enters Atlanta Falcons Stadium willingly should have some sort of
Start choking. It's a choking hazard.
clothing. Choking. So maybe that's what it is. He's covering
He's
his
trying to
mouth.
symbolize like,
to
listen,
stop
when you're
himself
in
from
this,
choking.
when you're in this city and specifically in the stadium, you're gonna choke out.
There's like a 90% probability that you were gonna end up choking. Atlanta Falcons choked. He's giving me a face like he doesn't know, audience. Atlanta Falcons choked to Tom Brady. They choked multiple
Yeah, I know,
times
so.
during the season. Okay, there you go. So he's wearing this. I guess it's like a protective surface for his breathing apparatus.
I guess.
He doesn't want to choke on his Yo, I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't really see any symbolism in this. I know you're trying. I know it's bullshit.
I think
but
you just
know what
find
it
it
is.
fucking
He's
crazy.
the
No,
equivalent
it's good.
of really shitty abstract art. Like like people will like right now they'll cut this table like the corner. They'll throw red paint and tip this mic over and be like, this represents America's diversification. The fact that we're unified as a country. That's Kanye. He just gets something, puts it on, tilts it, and then he's like, deep. All right.
Remember them two niggas from Hitch that were in the art gallery and they were like super bougie and they used to just walk around like this and they're like, "What do you
Have
think
you
of
been? Have you been here?
Hideous,
Disgusting.
disgusting, absolutely terrible."
Yeah, they said disgusting. Like,
Yo, bro.
But like, I can't
Kanye.
find any
It's Kanye.
symbolism or anything. It's literally, I think Kanye just does what Kanye wants, and we're trying to find reason and logic behind it, and it's just Kanye. It's Kanye being Kanye. It's like Deadpool. You can't really try to figure out what the fuck he's
Nah,
thinking.
I feel at this point, he's always trying to make a fashion statement. You remember like his first
Fashion.
Yeah, because look, his first outrageous gimmick that he came out. You remember those glasses, the shades he came out with the lines.
shades. Those
and
are
all of
popular
that?
I
back then.
remember
People actually
in
wearing that
middle
shit
school,
for a bit.
Patrick would wear those all the time. That shit was
Unironically.
hilarious.
I'm telling you.
And he thought he looked so cool. He thought he was like,
He's like, look, guys, I'm Kanye. What's up?
I remember people wearing the green ones, the pink ones, the all black ones with those, and you couldn't see through shit
see
from them.
anything.
Yeah, fuck that.
and then someone had the idea to put like little LEDs on the lines and shit. You remember
That I
those?
never saw.
I saw those are
What the
dope.
fuck? But he's kind of right though. Here's what trips me out, and this might be in my head because I genuinely think that Kanye means all the shit that he's doing. I don't think he's faking it. But just for a second, right? Let's imagine. What if the fuck he is? What if that nigga
What if he is
staged
what?
all these crazy outbursts, all these ridiculous antics just to build press for his albums? And every day he kind of like removes his personality like a mask. He's like, these niggas bought it.
Is that what the panels represents? That's him putting the mask on for the public? We might have just made a fact right there.
Yo,
That's some quantum shit.
is he on some shit right?
So you're saying when Kanye gets home, he stops being Yeezus and he just goes back to being
Like a regular ass dude?
Yeah, regular dude.
Yeah, he's like, I wonder what's on Netflix.
He
goes
starts talking
immediately from,
normally,
"Kill
doesn't scream all
him."
the time. Yeah.
a timer goes off. It's been about 26 hours. Let me post some crazy shit.
He fucking finally. That's why Jay-Z finally came back into the fold. He texted that niggas like, you know I was playing, right?
It was all Kim's fault. Kim never liked you.
It's like this
And he's
nigga.
like, what's up, big head?
Yo, what's up, big? What's
Like,
up,
just
big
like
head
that,
text? Yeah, boy. I saw a meme online that said, "Yo, this nigga dropped Kim and picked up Jay. That's the best trade since Anthony Davis." I was like, "Yo, that's just kind of."
Yo, y'all think I'm playing, but seriously, how many times you see it where like your boy breaks up with some girl that's apparently terrible, and all of a sudden he's like hanging out with his boys again? Same fucking shit. All of a sudden, him and Jay-Z are hanging out.
Danny Lopez,
Dan-
we're
yeah,
talking.
I
to
was
you.
trying to not mention his
knew you were
name.
gonna
Danny.
I was trying so hard to not
Lopez,
mention the
we're
name.
talking to you.
Hey, Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom.
He's a phantom.
Yeah. Every time he's single, he starts like appearing out of nowhere, almost like a rare Pokemon, right? Like, just,
You know,
that's
So,
his
so for those that
character.
don't, I guess it's worth bringing it up. Do I explain it?
yeah, hell yeah, explain that
Oh,
shit.
okay, fine. So we got this boy, right, named Danny, right? A different Danny, not program Danny. He's notorious for being very involved and invested in his relationships to such a degree that he goes ghost. We don't see him for months on end. And then when we finally do see him because he's single, we start roasting him and he wants to get all sensitive. Like the last time we saw him, I think Chris and I started poking him and he was like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "He's real. Oh my God, he's here." And he got all butthurt and shit.
And you know what?
I would
That-
say butter, but yeah,
No, he got
starts
butthurt.
taking it real.
He really looked at me. He's like, "Oh, that's funny."
Senor, I don't know that nigga.
And then I looked at
has
him.
that
And then
issue.
I looked at him. I'm like, "It's okay. Feelings pass through you. You're a ghost."
Yo,
He's such a sarcastic
you know,
asshole.
what we need to do is we need to come out with a commercial of that nigga that says "in loving memory of."
Or have you seen? Have you seen
Have
this?
you seen? Put that nigga on the back of a milk carton because we never see that. That shit is incredible, and like fucking shame on all you motherfuckers that do that to the homies. That you chill only when
for
you
real.
single, and then you fucking disappear off the face of the earth like Osama bin Laden. You hide for a singular decade until niggas find you. That's just ridiculous.
That's not getting with the program.
That's not getting with the program.
I mean, you're right.
That's a violation of program code.
It's
Indeed,
a brolation of the worst
a
kind.
brolation.
The program commandments.
Yes, Kanye. Back to Kanye.
Okay, all right.
So when are we hearing this fucking album?
we keep getting sidetracked?
This episode.
This is a
shit
terrible
show.
episode.
This episode is
Like this is an episode like only one person's gonna find
We're
funny.
15 minutes into trying to actually talk about Kanye from what
Are
it
we?
seems. I don't know. We keep
This is
bouncing
not our
back.
fault though. This is Kanye's
got
fault.
to
He's
our-
trying to do too much, and we're trying to figure out everything.
We're doing what Kanye's doing. We're delaying, okay? Where no one's gonna ever hear the topic,
No one
and no
will
one's gonna
ever
ever
hear
hear this
Donda.
album, okay?
Yeah.
So as far as the album goes, I'm waiting on it. I don't know what the fuck Donda means, or why he decided to name it that, but I'm super interested in hearing what comes out.
I don't know. He had a dream, and I don't fucking know. So it's Kanye, bro.
But what's interesting is, right, Kanye can be said, right, to have a history of mental illness, right? So that kind of leads me into my next topic because I want to talk about my my Britney bitch topic. You know,
homegirl.
my homegirl. You know, Britney Spears.
Your homework?
Hold up. Earlier, you brought this issue to my attention, and you said, and then I said, "Oh, you mean the free Britney shit?" And you were like, "Yeah, if you want to give it a crude hashtag, sure, that's what I'm referring to." But then you go into it with, "I want to discuss the Britney bitch," but you gave me shit for okay. No, continue. I just want to clarify.
Clearly a much better introduction.
Thank you.
Continue.
No.
So
I see now. Mine was lacking the subtle tone of sexism. Continue.
no, Britney bitch is like anyway. So I'm not gonna explain. I will not be pulled off course here. So Britney Spears and her conservatorship, right? A conservatorship is essentially a legal mandate that says that anyone who lacks the mental capacities to take care of themselves and their finances gives up the autonomy to do so to another one. It's in a lot of states it's called a guardianship, right? So Britney,
Yeah,
right?
you essentially revert back to the rights of a child, and now someone is your parent.
Exactly,
again.
right? So Britney's father basically controls all her assets and her estates, right? And it's kind of more extreme than what you originally would have thought it was. She can't talk through Twitter. Like she has a
Like
team.
that?
She has a team apparently, right? That's hired by her father,
What, like a PR team?
a PR team to filter all her tweets. So every time she sends a tweet through her phone, it goes to this website that catches the tweet before it's actually released on the Twitter, and it pens approval or disapproval, right? So after it's pending and they screen it for anything that might be considered not to be advantageous for her, they then allow her to speak.
That's crazy.
That's why for years, people like she's been under this conservatorship, and there's been this kind of feeling in the background that she's not being treated correctly. But she says recently that she's been being kept silent by these other forces at work.
That's the thing. There's really no way to freaking know because at the end of the
I was
day,
about to say the same thing.
she
Really hard
she
to
was
tell.
only declared mentally incompetent because she started doing some unstable shit. Like what was it, shaving her head, and then started breaking into that fucking limo with the umbrella or some shit like that. Wasn't there a video like that?
She had a bunch of
Yeah, she was breaking into shit. Like she literally went off her rocker. So if that has
Didn't
to
she
be,
tattoo her head?
if
as
I don't
well,
think she
like,
tattooed her
a
head. I
while
don't think she
back?
did that.
There's a
She
bunch
might. I
of-
mean,
don't know if did.
point is, she was on a rampage. She was doing
okay.
crazy shit. It was anarchy. So yeah, if her family has to has to do that shit to take care of her, I'm like, I feel like it's equally possible that she's just, kind of being a crazy bitch and saying they're keeping me here.
Here's what
But really they're keeping
here's
it
what
from her crazy shit.
bothers me about this concept, right? Now, it might be true that you're mentally ill for a time and you need to give up your rights and your capacity to touch your assets to another who's more, I don't know, help me out here, more capable of dealing with it, right? But what about when you fucking heal, right? What about when you finally are capable of being a regular person, your fractured
You mean
psyche,
a way for her to basically appeal for
but she's
just to say I'm mentally able again.
but at that point nobody fucking takes you seriously because they're just gonna continue to write you off as the ramblings of a crazy person. So what the fuck do you? There's no official way for you to reclaim your rights as a crazy person.
That's a good point. Yeah, like how do you prove that you're back to normal?
Sanity. Sanity is a abstract concept, right? There's really no way for you.
But I mean, if when you're signing these contracts, you're doing these things. Didn't she have to sign the contract initially, giving this power to her family?
no, that's not how that works.
That's not how that works. What do you mean that's not how that works?
I don't think anybody would sign that.
No.
What do you mean?
So do you know
No.
what
Because think about think about it. Like for example, what I mean is that let's say I don't know, I have a fuck ton of money, right? And for whatever reason, there's some fear that I might be mentally unfit or something could happen. Like it's a contingency. That's what I'm looking for. It's a contingency. In that case, I could see me saying something, okay, if I have a possibility of this happening, I would name, I don't know, my aunt or something as the person to handle my shit
No,
for
in
me.
this case, this is a court mandated issue, right? Where you're declared mentally unfit to rule over your own assets and estates by your own family members. It's taken.
Also, that was the consequence of her actions.
Yes.
It wasn't something that was
No, she didn't
concerned
give
before.
up.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask what exactly
Oh.
led up for this to happen, for her to be in this position.
All that crazy shit.
It's just the
in the
crazy shit. It's a
2000s.
consequence. That's different.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
difference. Now I understand.
Her family
Okay.
was very concerned about it. Her father brought it into court, and her father was named sole proprietor over her conservatorship. And now she wants her dad out of the way. And she's not even asking for the conservatorship to necessarily end. She's just asking for more freedom to have fewer medical appointments and evaluations, et cetera, so on and so forth.
And it makes you wonder how so many of these celebrities who seem to have everything, going for them.
Go batshit.
All the money, yeah. When they're supposed to have the least amount of worries based, compared to everybody else in the world, they tend to go crazy as fuck. Why?
I think
Why do
that's
they
simple.
go batshit crazy? Why?
Because most people, every person on this planet is desperate to find meaning and fulfillment in their lives.
And you think
The
they like
difference
meaning?
between us and them is that everyone believes money is gonna fill that hole. We don't have money, so we can still say we believe it's gonna be money. But for a lot of people, once you get the money and realize it doesn't do shit, you're like, wow, this is what should have fixed it. Literally nothing else. Like I can't do anything else. I have everything.
Maybe
If I have everything and it's not working, then I'm just broken.
maybe problems distract you from shit that like really that would really fuck
do.
you.
Think about it.
So
Like
it's
these
almost
people,
like they reached endgame and they're just
so it's like
they got nothing left to do.
They reached the final boss, and the final boss is a lot
Think about,
scarier than what we thought it was.
a busy mind is a happy mind. It sounds cheesy, but it's true. We're busy because we're trying to get to that point. If you're already rich and you're kind of not really doing much, I guess.
No, I get it, but you can still be rich and find meaning in a million different things, and
Obviously,
and do
but
a million different things,
but not
right?
But not every celebrity's losing their mind,
Right. Well, but so many of them are.
are they?
They talk about like Robin Williams killing himself.
I mean,
If you compare how
can
many
go
you hear
from
about, because
Kurt
look, you got
Cobain
Robin
to
Williams, Kurt
Britney
Cobain.
Spears,
You had
man.
the dude on the Food Network channel a few years ago.
Robin
Chad
Williams,
Pennington,
Anthony
right?
Bourdain.
The nigga from
Anthony
Linkin Park.
Bourdain,
And
Robin
Chester
Williams,
Bennington.
Chester Bennington.
But as I'm saying,
Chester's homeboy,
we've
the
named
one who killed himself. Right
Chris
before-
Cornell.
Chris
We've
Cornell.
named, but that's what I'm saying. We've named 10 people, but we could still name
Man.
10 times that many celebrities that haven't
yeah,
done it.
right?
That's what I'm saying.
That list can keep going, but no, I mean, I get you. I bet if we did a study of what percentage of celebrities go,
I think it only
They should do a study of
It's
that.
probably a little bit higher.
I think it only
than
seems
that
like a
of
lot because in your mind it's gonna
It sticks out.
It's gonna
Sure,
stick
sure.
that this is a big thing. Suicide.
Probably,
it sticks to you.
Probably. But I'm saying I'm pretty confident that if they did a study
I've
like
gotten
that,
that impression myself.
right? That if they did a study of suicides, or no, I'm sorry, just mental instability or mental dysfunction of some kind of sorts in the general population versus that of celebrities, I'm willing to bet that the celebrities have a higher percentage of some type of mental instability.
And that's the thing. And so I hear anything a little more concrete with the whole, let's say with the Britney story. I feel like it's just a family issue that really everyone should stay the fuck out of because we don't know what's going on. Because to us, it could very much look like she's a victim, but in reality, I've dealt with difficult, crazy people before, and it's very possible that she could just be fucking saying all this shit, and they're
Crazy
actually
and
trying to
rich
help
and with
her.
a lot of
It
attention.
could
It could be not, and if she really is a victim, but it's equal. We don't have anything.
It
concrete
could
at
be,
this
but
point.
if what I read is true, that they are censoring what she puts on the internet in terms of speech, I think that is a little much in terms of.
Is it? Because
violating-
think about it. If you're mentally unfit and you're just gonna be posting shit that's gonna cause shit on Twitter, how do we know what she was putting? She could have been putting something innocent. She could have been putting something that's.
The thing is, like, freedom of speech, as a right, because she can't really harm anyone physically with her behavior, right? So as long as she's not like releasing information like her social security or credit card numbers, I say let her write what the fuck she wants.
Yes,
to
but if she's mentally unfit, that means there might not be more money coming in. That means there might be a finite amount, which means as a brand, you want to protect what remains of the brand.
now you're talking about her more as a corporate.
Exactly. So you're taking.
I'm talking about the
freedom
well-being of her, and that's money.
No, you're stripping her freedom in order to preserve finances.
finances.
Yeah, that's.
It's not strictly to
completely
preserve the
different.
finances; it's to prevent her from causing further harm because she
and-
obviously
Sure, but
she's
who
been-
decides if that's a good idea or not?
Not her.
But that's a consequence of her own action.
And in addition, she
Yeah,
doesn't even
but who
have
draws the
control
line?
of the. So you're trying to help
No, I
her.
get what you're trying to say. I get that who drew the line, but my point is this wasn't just Machiavellian schemes and her family just pulled the Tywin Lannister and pulled
That
it
we
like
know of.
it's her consequence.
It could be that. It could be exactly that.
Unless they literally
and that's a
staged
lot
it
of money.
all.
That's a lot of money to fight over. That's a
Niggas
lot
do
of money.
crazy-
You
shit
don't think
for
there'd be
a lot
easier
less.
ways to do that than to somehow get her to shave her head, look batshit, put that up on the internet, and then have a
No, I
court
can't think of
declare?
an easier way.
I'm not indicating that she. By the
Aside
way,
from killing her.
there was a book, right, that I read, and it's the one that I told you guys about, Pimp. Where I told you the pimp would literally have like he would drug these hoes that were his, and make them feel as if they were crazy when he thought that they were done. So he would drug them with meth and whatever the fuck else, right? And then one of them he hung out the window until she woke, like when she was about to wake up. And when she woke up, he told her that she slept walk and tried to throw herself out the window for the 4th time that week because she's been drugged all week by him, and then put her in a crazy person hospital. So people will do fucked up shit to each other over nothing.
I'm not saying they won't. I'm saying there isn't enough to convince me of either side.
I'm just saying.
I'm only being a devil's advocate just because.
But so are we.
I know.
Yeah, so are we. But yeah,
But if you're right, that is fuck. That's a crazy conspiracy.
stripping her freedom of being able to communicate and say what she wants. That's her ability to do so, man. I mean, what's she gonna do?
Wouldn't that be
Call
a
out
bitch?
somebody?
Wouldn't that be a bitch? What if like
deal.
what if like the Spears family was like the Lannisters of like
Yeah, that's
of like
what I'm
our
saying.
time? Wouldn't that be a crazy plot twist?
That's
Like her
just
dad's been
teamwork.
Tywin the whole time.
And then the
Teaming up
money
with
that
Jamie
he's
Lynn.
yeah, the money that he's taking control of now, it's gonna be used to like take over some crazy.
Like
some
what?
country, do
All
some
the
crazy shit.
Spears by
Take over
Disney.
Cuba. No, they become the new rulers of Cuba and they're some crazy shit. No,
I'm not gonna lie, with the way the last year and a half has been going, I'm like that'd just be like the perfect cherry on top for these 2 years. That would just
the Spears on Cuba.
because with everything else going on, shit that's happened the last 2 years.
That and then they come out with like a new episode for the How to Make a Tyrant.
That show's good. How to
show
be a
was
The
tyrant.
Spears father.
A whole season just for Spears. What the
That-
fuck is his name? I keep saying Spears' dad or Spears' what,
I don't know what the dude's first name is.
that's how low key he is.
Yeah, I have no idea what this dude's name
Britney's
is.
dad. That's what it is.
Britney's dad.
Tyrant mentality.
It sounds like a fucking like one of the dads from like one of the cartoons that we used to watch back in the 90s. You never knew their names.
Yeah.
He's just
Or like Fairly Odd Parents. Hi, my name is Timmy's dad.
yeah. It's
That
like-
is how they used to say
What
it.
was it? My name is, and then a truck would pass by, but you can call me dad.
But so I wanted to talk about like to switch to our next topic, D Hop. I don't know if you guys saw what he tweeted. DeAndre Hopkins.
baby.
This nigga, bro. So
What?
and the NFL in general, I think they're like crazy authoritarian policies that
And the
they're
NBA.
that they're implementing. They want everybody to be vaccinated. That's clearly the intent. They don't give a shit how you feel about it, what you want for you and your body. They're implementing.
Didn't one of the coaches get fired because he was denying he didn't want to get
I forgot to
vaccinated?
look that up. It
He
was
got
the,
canned. He literally just got hired
or
this offseason and boom, he got
By that
booted
same
out.
team?
Same. Yeah, I don't know if it was by the team or by the NFL.
the Vikings.
Oh,
yeah, it
fuck.
was by the
It
Vikings.
was the
I
Vikings.
read that he quit though. I read that he.
I mean, either way,
But they probably made him. Yeah.
either way they cut because he didn't want to get
They
vaccinated.
came to a mutual agreement
Yeah,
that they're gonna
yeah.
part ways.
Did he like say why he doesn't want to get vaccinated? It's just like
I didn't read the whole article. I didn't read the whole explanation. That was just the headline I
Vikings.
saw.
It says here Vikings fire offensive line coach Rick Dennison for.
it's an
refusing
offensive
to
line. I
get
thought it was a head coach.
No. That's interesting.
Oh, okay. Who's that? head
That's
coach?
still because I really want to know why. Because see, for example, right, my job, I had to get vaccinated.
required, yeah.
It's a requirement, and I didn't fucking start up.
While NFL players can refuse to get vaccinated without worry about losing their jobs, coaches are not afforded the same protection. Apparently.
Makes sense. They're expendable for the most part.
God damn, bro.
I mean, they are. Think about it. To the NFL, for the most part, a coach is a dime a dozen. I mean,
Depending
but,
on what country, yeah.
yeah.
But still, wow, that's fucked. I thought
It's
were
business.
I thought there were like rights against that, legally speaking.
I don't know. You're the lawyer. Don't ask me.
I'm not familiar with.
For what? Firing them because they denied a specific. I think normally you'd be right, but I think it's different because it's a pandemic.
That's odd. I have to look into that. What the fuck?
I know you can't refuse service just because you didn't get vaccinated, but like an employer technically has the right to say, okay, we're not going to hire because per our policy you have to be vaccinated. It's not discrimination. It's, I mean, you can do what you want, but we can't. Like
Because he was already hired, right? So I could understand specifically looking to hire people that are already vaccinated, right? Because you're not firing anyone. Right?
I mean, but I've been working my job a year. They just started getting everybody vaccinated a month ago.
But this is
and they literally said if you don't get vaccinated, you have to go.
Yeah, this is a brand new rule though. They just implemented all of this, so it's like an inconvenience for everybody. It's like, okay, I just got hired, but I'm not really trying to get this vaccine.
That's
right
what I'm
now.
saying. He felt so strongly against the vaccine that he rather quit or get fired, whatever the fuck story it is.
Yeah.
But that's crazy to me.
But the whole D Hop situation is gonna be a funky one because if he's really considering retiring,
that's ridiculous.
this is your top receiver.
And the
you
Texans.
know?
Oh wow, the Texans. I just went back 4 years.
No. I mean, I was thinking the same thing.
Yo, I'm
He's
so
with
used to him being a Texan.
with the
And
Cardinals.
The
I
fucking
mean,
Cardinals can't afford to fucking lose D Hop, bro.
Exactly. I don't know if it's all bluff, you know.
I don't
to
think
try
he's
to
gonna
work his way
retire,
through it, but
but like
I think eventually he'll probably just take it just to take it.
D Hop is definitely one of my favorite receivers, though. The way that nigga plays his game, I think out of like, cause you have your speed receivers, your route receivers, and your physical receivers. The way this nigga goes up for these jump balls, these 50-50 balls, they're not really 50-50. For him, it's like 70.
No doubt. But now it's going to be a situation where right now it's basically him. I don't know who else spoke up. I think it was Cole Beasley. But it's like, who gives a fuck about Cole Beasley? You got your top receiver in D-Hop. He's the only one speaking out about it right now. What if other people come over and they refuse to take it?
I think they fucking should, to be honest, bro. Because in the same fashion that anti-abortion advocates have decided to use the moniker, your body, your choice, that same shit should apply to keep that same energy. Your body, your choice. Right?
I understand the fine. That I get. What are they fining? It's like some ridiculous amount. It's like 14
racks, shit. But just for like violating COVID guidelines on the field. So if you don't have a mask on and you're not like doing what you need to do.
I mean, it's a crazy amount, but I understand fining. I get that, but it's just firing seems extreme. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and I think for players specifically, they'll have to forfeit a game if they're not vaccinated by the time they have to play that game.
No, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. I think it was that if they're sick and they find out that them being sick was because they didn't take proper measures, that's when they'll forfeit the game.
Right. And it's tricky.
Which I kind of get, but it still seems harsh as shit.
Under the law, an employer can force an employee to get vaccinated, and if they don't take it, fire them. God dang.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a grown ass man. He chose to walk, so he must have had a reason. I mean, he's got money, I'm sure. I guess he has a plan of some kind.
I mean, he's not offensive line coach. I don't think he's bred it up like that.
Not bred it up, but I mean, he whatever his situation is, it's good enough that he said no, fuck vaccinating, fuck your job amount.
Because sure, that's true. I guess if he was really desperate, he wouldn't, unless he really thought that shit was gonna kill him.
Which I don't think it will. I mean,
I don't think it will, but like I've heard like legends in these streets.
I've heard shit about like the Johnson & Johnson one, but I didn't, like the Pfizer one, the one I got, I didn't hear shit about that.
Yeah. And Moderna.
I have yet to grow a fucking fourth eye.
And it's like a very
fourth?
Huh?
You said fourth.
You heard.
Are we talking? Y'all saw that, right?
Is it what? No.
But yeah, D-Hop doing that and the fucking. I thought that was extremely draconian. I think the U.S. government should probably step into that.
Nobody's gonna intervene.
No one should. No. I think it does violate the spirit of freedom, right? In terms of being able to choose as an American what's best for you and your family. Free will. I do feel like it violates the spirit of that principle.
But he has the right. Also, doesn't the NFL then also have the right to say that's cool, but to protect our people, like everybody else, you can't work here.
Here's the thing.
However, like, how is him not being vaccinated affect the people that already are anyway?
Because there's a new strain that just
if you're scared of
it will increase at least to some marginal level the chances that there's another outbreak. But I will say, right, saying okay, that's fine, but you don't have to work here is tantamount to an ultimatum that threatens the very livelihood and the capacity to feed yourself.
What did you say to me the other day? Huh? What did you say to me the other day? It's not an ultimatum. It's just that I'm only interested in you if you're working here.
You're taking something completely out of context that I told you when I was drunk.
But it's the same fucking principle. Like you can't. It's not violating anything. They have the right to deny it because he's gonna technically endanger the fucking work office.
As a government, right, that's interested in preserving the freedoms of the people, right? I think it's important to emphasize and recognize that when you're firing someone and giving them, and it is an ultimatum, listen, you can either get vaccinated because you're already working here or leave this job because we'll have to let you go if you do not, it is essentially a threat. It's a threat that it threatens your livelihood. There's only one way to make money.
I understand, but this is the fucking, like, you have to live with the fucking shit that's going on in the world where there's a pandemic. These are the consequences of the pandemic. Is it fair? No, it's not, but you have to fucking live with it. You have the right to not get vaccinated, but I also completely understand why a corporation would say, okay, cool, but you can't work here.
I'm not sure if
like you have the freedom to not get vaccinated. Other people also have the freedom to not want to get sick, and that means not working near someone that has a higher chance of getting them sick.
What's concerning is the precedent, right? Because once you set this precedent can be used again and again and again until it's not for safety, but rather for an individual's convenience.
I understand, but we're gonna stop putting in safety guidelines because someone might abuse it. Someone's always going to find a way to abuse something, but that doesn't mean you just stop putting in certain protocols.
So what's more important, safety or freedom?
But it's not an issue of freedom. You're blowing up. You're making it seem like it's a discrimination case. It's not.
What I'm saying is legally the way it works in the United States is once common law has a precedent, that precedent is often used to the point where there will be situations in which it's taken advantage of, and it can get egregious.
I understand. I know it will be. That's human nature. There's always gonna be taking advantage of shit and laws and bylaws and everything. We're always gonna find
which is
loopholes.
why it's important to tighten things as much as possible the other direction, especially in America.
I understand, but it's not.
That's my opinion. That's my
You
opinion.
guys are quiet. What do you think?
I mean, listen, you both have really good points, I feel, because yes, you have the option as an employer to say, hey, listen, I'm not forcing you to do it just so long as you want to work here. So you can, I get it, you just have to work somewhere else. However, if everyone's going to be pushing that, and as a government you allow that, then you're making everybody take something that, listen, and I'm already vaccinated, but it's just, maybe we don't know all the different things that can be caused because of that vaccine, and some people aren't willing to take that risk. Whereas they know what's going to happen to them with COVID, because a lot of us have already gone, and the vaccine doesn't even stop us from getting it again.
I would understand why anybody specifically would not want to take it, because they don't know how their body's going to react to it. So what if there is a situation where there's just one player, he takes the vaccine and he experiences a seizure, just his body's just not, he doesn't take it correctly, you know?
Right.
So now what does the NFL say about that?
Yeah.
So it's
Who's liable for that? You forced him to take it, right? Because he wanted to continue to feed his kids.
yeah, exactly.
And that's bullshit on top of it. The NFL coach got fired. The NFL players don't have that same punishment. So it's not even being treated equally across the board.
Well, because the NBA, the NFL, Nike,
Because they value
Adidas,
more
none of these
the
motherfuckers-
brandings of their players
product.
over the people.
They
So
all
now we're not
preach
valuing
equality,
them
but they
as
don't care
individuals.
equality.
So
Because
this
they're
is
not
extremely
equal.
corrupt on multiple levels of how it's being
Absolutely,
handled.
how it's being handled, and it proves that they don't view people as equals. They've been
That's
proving
the
that
thing, though,
forever,
like
and they
it-
preach it the most.
It comes down to a balance. As a corporation to be successful, you have to at a certain point stop. You have to start looking at it more numbers, more business. Like for example, we're a business now, and on our end, if we're looking for, let's say we're at a point where we can hire employees, I'm not gonna hire the unvaccinated person only because I don't want to not hire you because you're not vaccinated. No. I'm probably gonna want someone that's vaccinated. I'm gonna be really real with you. Why would we, if we had that option, why would we not try to fucking go for it? Like that's how I see it. It doesn't make any sense to me to have the higher risk. It's not a guarantee. It doesn't mean I'm gonna die if someone is working here that's not vaccinated. But why would I run the higher risk?
I think as far as the American government is concerned, because you're right, businesses are naturally by nature going to
They have to look at it from their perspective, not from the perspective of the
numbers.
individual little
but
guy.
the American government has to look at it from the perspective of the freedoms of the people, right? And that's why sometimes, not all the times, but in a capitalistic system, an American government has to step in to make sure that certain guidelines or freedoms are not violated.
Yeah, but this is one of those situations that there's no perfect answer. There isn't, because you can't just be like, okay, well, don't get vaccinated if you don't want to, because no one takes it seriously, and then it just spreads forever and ever. We're just gonna, like, for example, if other countries are already done with their COVID shit, we're second year.
The Black Plague
technically.
the Black Plague did not spread forever and ever. The Black Plague
Wasn't it
With
years?
no medicine.
Wasn't it years?
To be fair, it's also because it eradicated like 40%.
Yeah, like that's not a good argument. It's not a good argument.
Eventually, it'll stop.
I know eventually, but if we can
Eventually.
stop it from becoming a second fucking plague.
It's a very difficult topic. I get it. It's tough. There's arguments.
Andres
on
is
each
a
end,
communist. You heard it here first. He's a dirty, dirty communist.
but- Shut up. So are you, Chris?
Send him the emails. Hate mail right now. Okay?
Set them here though at this address.
Him and Castro.
You know what'll really
are
show me?
besties.
You know what'll really show me? Like this video. Matter of fact, comment. If you subscribe, every subscription is a fight against communism.
Oh my fucking god.
Now we got half of like fucking Twitter going against us.
Socialist.
Listen,
There really is no winning, is there?
Even if
There's no winning.
even if they dislike it, bad press is still press.
That's true, but don't dislike it.
That's right. Hit the dislike button. motherfuckers.
Algorithms
Do
are a
it.
thing.
When Andres
Yeah, we don't
buys
care.
pizza,
A
he
dislike's the same as
rations
a
it
like.
out.
The only way, if you dislike it, you better fucking repost us on Instagram.
It's okay. A dislike is the same as a like for YouTube. Deadass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what the fuck's the point?
There isn't. It's just
is that
for,
true?
At least
it's
how
just
the
for
algorithm
viewers.
works.
It's just
Is
for
it,
viewers.
is
At
it,
least
so
how-
wait, so you're telling me it's literally just so people can feel heard then?
No, because you're probably more likely to watch a video that has more
has
likes
more
than
likes,
dislikes.
yeah,
Wait, stop recording that. You're
But as
telling
far
them.
as the algorithm, hit a dislike. We don't give a fuck. None of you are even hitting like or dislike, so at least it's something.
It's like a Yelp
what-
review. It's pointless.
What if like SWAT team kicked down the door, but instead of SWAT it said YouTube, and they're like, they're telling them, and they're just fucking
Yo, we get ended on screen.
Yo, FBI just texted you right quick.
Yo, what the fuck? Don't
Shut the
move.
fuck up.
It's
Anyways,
like, don't
yo.
say another word
Yo, you're stupid.
right now.
What if they send you a message and it was like 3, 2, 1, and then just
Stupid. Huh?
But they come from here though.
That's
They don't
what-
even come from here.
How long were we recording? That was like a
42.
42? That's good enough.
I think we're good.
Yeah. And that's another episode of
be it,
Get
yo.
with the Program.
Probably the
Número
last one for a
7.
little while.
You'll see us in our new digs
We
next
appreciate
week.
you guys. We appreciate you all.
New and improved.
We'll have a new.
Does it be a disco ball?
We'll have some. That's kind of lit actually.
No, there won't be. Bro.
That would fuck the light. We just got the lighting right.
There'll be dancing lobsters for sure.
I know 7 episodes and like 100 attempts, and we just got the lighting somewhere.
We're gonna
Now
have.
we get to start all over again.
We're gonna have some of the females from Scarlett's come over. You know, it's gonna be a nice celebrating time.
Oh, if you guys don't know what Scarlett's is, best strip club South Florida. Please,
So he says.
please.
We better get some shit for advertising them. Hell,
Hell yeah, it's in free t-shirts. Or something,
We need some views before they start getting
t-shirts. Give
insane.
me a free dance. Fuck the t-shirt.
free dance horny boy. Anyway, you can go.
Who goes to the strip club
mic.
and gets a dance? Loser.
I'm going for lunch. I don't know about you.
The wings,
Yo,
bro,
the
beer.
breakfast is lit.
Titties and tater tots. You know me. Every time.
Bitches and
Only
bacon.
in Miami is that normalized. Only in this city is that normalized.